Hey there Wargamers, this is Justin from AMP Services, and thanks for tuning in this week for my Tactical Tuesday video. In this video we're going to be discussing how I like to run the Tau Battlesuit Commander, or as I call him, the Tanky Commander. In this photo you're seeing the Cold Star Battlesuit variant, however, this is just a proxy for me. It looks cool, so I built him this way, but I'm actually running him as a standard commander. The first two upgrades that I take on my Tanky Commander are Iridium Armor and Shield Generators. The Iridium Armor provides your battlesuit with a 2-up armor save and a 5 toughness. This is a big deal because a 2-up armor save is amazing, and 5 toughness makes him immune to most forms of instant death. And anything that manages to get by your 2-up armor save is going to have to contend with your 4-up invulnerability save. The next upgrade I take for the Tanky Commander is the stimulant injectors. These are particularly useful for when your 2+ armor save or your invulnerability save fails you. It's another layer of defense. In addition to that, it makes him really resilient when facing down lots of fire and horde armies. So my Crisis Suit Commander is rocking the burst cannons, as well as the missile pods. Now, these aren't on there necessarily because they are most effective, but for me it was a cool factor and it was what was in the kit. What makes the Crisis Suit Commander particularly effective, however, is how adaptable it is. When approaching a Crisis Suit Commander build for your army, make sure you outfit him with the weapons that are going to fill the voids in your current army. You may want him to have anti-armor weapons, for example, if you have too many anti-infantry weapons at your disposal. As stated previously, this setup for the Tanky Commander makes him very resilient. And in addition to being resilient, your commander, especially if he is your warlord, is probably going to draw a lot of fire, and your opponent's probably going to go after him. This is particularly beneficial because it draws fire away from the rest of your army and focuses it on your HQ. By making your HQ tanky, you're increasing his survivability and the likelihood that he's going to come back and make up for his points in the rest of the game. As with the majority of the other units from the Tau Codex, you want to keep your Crisis Suit Commander away from assaults. If he happens to get assaulted, he does have a 4-weapon skill, so he has a reasonable chance of hitting, but he's probably going to be tied up to the rest of the game. You've invested all these points in making him tanky and hard to take out, but if he's locked in combat with your ranged weapons, every turn that he's not firing them, he's not making his points back. You don't want to be locked in assaults. You want to make sure you do everything in your power to stay away, and utilize your jetpack jump move during the assault phase to help do this. So thus far we've discussed running the Tanky Crisis Suit Commander on his own, but what can you do to make him better? What units can attach to him? I personally like to take hazard suits with my Crisis Suit Commander. Why? Well, the Crisis Suit Commander is sporting a 5 toughness, and the hazard suits also have a 5. They also have 2 wounds, so they're innately somewhat tanky themselves. They're also immune to most forms of instant death. You can throw stimulant injectors on them, and also give them feel no pain. They make for a really good ranged Death Star tanky style of unit. It's really awesome. You could run the Tanky Crisis Suit Commander with a Crisis Suit Bodyguard unit. I don't like to do this, however, because I've already invested the points in the Iridium Armor. The Iridium Armor upgrade is twofold. Again, the 2+ armor save and the 5 toughness. Putting the Tanky Commander with a unit of models that has a 4 toughness brings him down effectively. It makes it easier to wound him because of the average toughness of the unit. This is why I like to run the hazard suits instead. It's harder to wound them, and in turn, harder to hurt your commander. If you decide to go the route of using hazard suits, or maybe even a Crisis Suit Bodyguard team with your Tanky Commander, utilizing the other units in your army to synergize, especially those pathfinders, really increases their effectiveness. Not only is it a tanky, ranged Death Star unit, it can also put out a lot of ranged firepower too. It's worth noting, however, that the Tanky Battlesuit Commander is only one of the many ways that you can build one. There's another way that I would like to discuss in a future video, and that is the Support System Battlesuit Commander. This particular variant focuses more on beefing up his attached unit rather than his own offensive prowess. Well, that concludes this week's tactical video, guys. If you enjoyed, please take a moment to subscribe below. I'd also like to hear what you think. Have you used a particular variant that's similar to this one, or did you use the one that I suggested? Did I miss anything? Sound off below. Let's have a discussion. Also, if you haven't already, please take a moment to like us on Facebook. This will allow you to stay up to date with all of our current promotions, as well as our studio updates. Finally, I do get paid to paint these models. It's how I make a living. If you enjoyed these models, and you'd like to have me paint something for you, please take a moment to click Quote Request now. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, happy wargaming.